Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, many things have happened. As you see behind Mr. Matt, we have the beautiful Legacy Edition Throwback Jets uniforms. We have Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson destroying people in practice. We have Dalvin Cook rumors to the Jets. There's all kinds of fun, exciting things going on. We're going to have Hard Knocks and One Jets Drive starting soon. Matt, what's going on?
Nothing, man. The throwback announcement. We knew it was coming. The leaked photos during media day, and then Woody Johnson drops a hint last night, and then they drop today. And I really think they're near perfect. You can
Love
see
them.
it behind me. They're a perfect indication of a retro throwback under the lights both times they wear it. And Mike, I think the love, and it really is almost unanimous love behind them, is going to lead to the Jets now that they've hit their fifth year in a row with the uniforms to rethink it. I'm not saying to copy and paste this as their full-time uniform, but you can use stuff here, tweak it a little bit, and have a great uniform where I think the current ones are lacking a bit. So, Mike, I'm even if it's 2 games, I'm ready to go for some throwback uniforms.
It's just the best thing ever. They did a good job too because the Jets or all teams in the NFL can only use two helmets throughout the year. So they kind of had to tweak the design to make the helmets match. And they just look awesome. My one small complaint with the uniforms that there aren't to make them not be my favorite uniforms ever is that I do prefer my number one uniforms ever are the 98 to 2018
Yeah.
version, the Parcells uniforms. We grew up with that. We saw great times. They just aesthetically are my favorite. And or if they made like the 1968 throwback uniform, I think would also be a little bit better. But other than that, this is the best possible version of what this is. I'm like initial reaction, much happier with these uniforms than when the Jets released their current full uniforms.
Yeah, and they will go back to 98 to 2018. That will happen probably years and years from now.
I
But
just wanted to see Rodgers wear like the Sanchez uniform.
it happened. It obviously just occurred where they aren't going to go back to that yet. 68 was another option, but there is hint in there in this uniform of that throwback. And when they dropped, I immediately went to NFL.com. I got the Rodgers white, and there's a hoodie on there. They have a ton of retro stuff on there. The Jets did a great job on the rollout. And here's what we got to talk about because everyone knows they look good. But I hate the crowd that hit you with it doesn't mean anything unless you win in them. Of course, that's true. We understand that you need to win football games, but can't you take a step back? Like, I think it's cool that my team is going to look great in prime time in new uniforms, and we can go out and get those uniforms. Like, why is it always have to come back to they have to win in them? Yeah, we know that, but why can't you be happy? Like, those are the people that wake up every morning, roll out of bed, their boss hates them, nothing goes their way. I'm going to go on twitter.com, now x.com,
Yeah, I should have changed it in my intro.
and
X.
complain about uniforms. It's a perfect day, and I can't wait for my Rodgers jersey to come in.
No, it's couldn't be better. And right, one of the reasons that people are not as high on the current actual uniforms is that it's like the Jets didn't win in them. They just were so horrible. So it's if you go 2-14, it's like, all right, like that just sucks. Like you're not gonna be like super happy, whatever. But I'd rather watch the Jets go 2-14 in these. That'd be cool. You acquire a new player. Aaron Rodgers comes plays for the Jets. You get to see what he looks like in our sick retro throwback jerseys. Like that's fucking awesome. It's undisputably awesome. It's not a debate.
And then obviously the training camp begins, and you hear the stories of having delay of game or false starts and snap counts, but the offense gets into a groove over the weekend. You have Rodgers every play. It feels like he's making a good throw to Garrett Wilson, or Nick Baldwin had a few plays. It's very cool when you have so far a decent health. They've had injuries obviously to Chuck Clark, but you have a decent health. You're getting out there. The offense is making plays. You have Sauce Gardner with a pass breakup against Aaron Rodgers. Like, how fucking cool is that to say out loud? And then you look at the four guys behind me, who's obviously missing Breece Hall, or AVT or Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson.
Wilson.
And then you cut back to 2019 and you have Leonard Williams, Darnold, Jamal
Chris
Adams,
Herndon.
Chris Herndon.
Noon was in there.
Dude, how far have we come? How far? It's like when your buddy used to date like a girl that we all hated, and then he starts dating a supermodel. Like that
Yeah.
is what happened here.
Yeah, I think you tweeted, "What is this the best time to be a Jet fan, maybe ever?" Just because you could argue 09 and 10, of course. Well, this has to have success. You have to go to the playoffs. I'm saying, but leading up to this, like this current group of Jets, of course, the Jets won a Super Bowl in the '60s. So, but what my point is, just all this hype, and honestly, like if people now wanted to tweet out that they're being force fed Jets content, like fine. Not fucking like 2 weeks ago before all this happened. Now it's getting like the hype is a lot, which is great. Like it's super fun. Everything is Jets this, bang, Rodgers, Garrett, sick catch in the end zone, throwback uniforms, Whew.
And barring any health, I really look at this team and 2009, perfect example. They don't have two homegrown, young, that we think are going to be all pro offensive weapons. That's not on that team.
Nope.
You look at that team also, the biggest concern in 09, 2010 is edge rushing, right? The Jets have like 9 guys deep, and if they keep them fresh in the rotation, that's fine. Oh, and you have Quinnen Williams on the inside. And that team was built on having elite corner play, and now they have elite corner play again. Oh, and that quarterback, we were excited. He's young, but we know oh, no, you have Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, I do believe that right now is the most exciting time, at least in the past 20 years, to be a Jet fan. And there's a reason to feel like that because we've talked ourselves on this very program and in every group chat that the 2017 Jets weren't going to be that bad. And we talked ourselves into it. This is now pure evidence, and we actually know we're telling the truth.
Yeah. Dude, no, you're right. This team has a higher ceiling. I mean, Rodgers is the kicker, but on defense, you're just so balanced, like you said. They go 10 deep pass rushing. You have all pros on all 3 levels. You had 3 of the top 20 ranked corners last year. I don't know if Michael Carter's in the top 20. I think maybe that's his against slot guys. But man, like there's just dudes everywhere. And again, there's going to be some interesting battles in training camp. I'm so curious to see what happens with Becton now. I'm getting frustrated that beat writers are tweeting that the Jets, because it's not like these guys are saying, like, if Brian Costello says he thinks that the Jets are going to trade Becton, it's not like he thinks the Jets should do it. It's nerve-wracking because he probably has some kind of source. And I don't want that to happen because what you need, the Jets need to maximize their potential these next couple of years. And you can't convince me that Billy Turner at right tackle or Max Mitchell this year is a better option than Becton somehow playing 17 football games.
Yeah, and it's a good call out, and I forgot to get to that point in 09 and 10. The benefit you have over this team is drastically the offensive line. Your guards are locked and your center is locked between 2 guys. Your guards are completely set. You're going to have Lincoln and you're going to have AVT. At center, you're either going to have McGovern or Pittman. That will not change. Now, if you look at the door, if you say Dwayne Brown is going to be our left tackle, he's going to be done.
Fine.
You then have 3 guys battling at right tackle. You have the enormous upside in Becton of the girl that I'm going to say a Hail Mary date. It's probably not, you never know if it's going to work out, but if it does, it'll be amazing. And then Billy Turner and Max Mitchell may be potential, but Billy Turner, you know what you're going to get. So why would you offload? And the reason we're talking about this is there are not rumors, but we've seen certain things where people are like, Becton might be playing with the 2s a little bit more or the 3s. And it's not that he needs to get healthy. He's full go and he's playing with the 2s with Dwayne Brown even out. So all I'm saying is that if you're going to do not trade him, let him do his best to get healthy. If it all falls apart, then you have those 2 backup options, but you need to at least have the chance to do it. Because if one of those guys go down, I don't feel comfortable with a Billy Turner, Max Mitchell, and having a random backup like we had 400 times last year. You keep Becton, you make it work.
100%, because for another 2 reasons are, one, what are you going to get for Becton now? What are you going to get? Like, even if you got a 3rd-round pick next year, we are trying to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. That's it. So if Becton has even a 20% chance of becoming a monster player, of course, I would do that in a second. Take a shot. And then the other thing is, if, like you said, if guys do go down, it's the most difficult position probably in football to replace. Look at guys like retread Jets over throughout the years that are tackles that go other places. George Fant is the most recent example, who is a fine Jet, whatever. But if that's the, oh, this is the market that's out there, it's underwhelming and it's difficult. If a receiver gets hurt, God forbid, you could go out and get a guy. You can get a disgruntled guy from another team. There's obviously options available. Man, I would give Becton a chance to be a mauler and see what him and AVT can do.
Agreed.
On
Because
the
if you
right
look
side.
at
Yeah.
think of 2020, Mike, the blue chip on your team, the blue chip one guy, Mekhi Becton.
It
Truthfully in
was Becton.
2020.
He was the best offensive player. And I remember I tweeted something out. I was like, thank God the Jets have Mekhi Becton and Quinnen Williams moving forward, something to build around.
And a
And
great
that was, we were sour on Q at that point too. Just it was take a long time for him to develop into the human bar of soap that he
yeah, and
currently is.
it's a great segue because the Quinnen Williams deal gets done as everyone expected. I think some people got a little nervous over time. I even said once you get to like 4th of July weekend, let's get this going. We don't want to miss any training camp. A perfect deal. He can reset the market if he wants after 4 years, and not a ton. It was at 45 guaranteed out of the 96
Something like that.
million.
Do you think
Yeah,
Hard Knocks part of the reason they got done? Not that they wouldn't have got it done, but just in the time that they got done.
I don't think Hard Knocks had anything to do with it. I think they had
No.
this plan. I think they knew he wanted to report to camp. They didn't want to hold out. They were probably arguing over years, and it got done. Obviously, that's a win in the long term. You don't want it. What would happen is the Hard Knocks intro would hit. They would talk about all the promising. They're going to say, but there's one stone left unturned, and it's going to cut to like someone walking away. It's like Quinnen Williams has not signed his deal yet. I'm happy that didn't happen, but everything else, Mike, Quinnen's a
The
Jet,
vibes gonna be higher, dude. The vibes are so high.
unreal.
Oh, it's just everyone looks so good. These throws that Rodgers are making too is so important because there was always a scenario where Rodgers last year had an underwhelming season, and we could have sit here and say it's the Packers receivers that are young, no rapport, there's drops, this thumb, the this, that, and the other thing. But to see him come out and look fucking excited and cool and throw everywhere, oh,
If I keep
the
looking to the right,
oh,
I'm looking at the Rogers photo behind me. Like, I keep looking right at it. It
yeah,
it's cool. He's very much re-energized. And again, his down year is a historic year for our team in our franchise. And that's what I keep coming back to. It's the what if scenario. Like, what if he just hands the ball off to Hall for 7 yards, Garrett Wilson over the middle of 15, and we're driving? Like, my brain can't compute that. And if Aaron Rodgers drops back, I'm pretty confident. When Zach Wilson
right.
dropped back, you hold your breath.
It
And
was
if
the
you
only
saw
time.
someone,
Yep.
yeah,
The only time that we really, there were two times that I really, in my life as a Jet fan, and this is not including Chad because it's
can
a
I
little,
call it out? Can I call it 2 times?
two times.
It's Favre 08 and Fitzpatrick in 15.
You know what?
Oh, am I off?
No, Favre is right. I forgot. So an idiot, even though we're talking about Rodgers. I was gonna Fitzpatrick in 2015, genuinely excited, drop back and throw the ball, which is funny statements, but it's true, and he was terrific. 2017, Josh McCown,
Yeah.
drop back and throw the fucking football. Uncle Josh. This is what we're talking about. Now we get to watch Aaron Rodgers do that.
I love that McCown that year too. Every time he threw the ball, it was like the last time he was going to throw the ball. He put every ounce into each throw, slinging it around the football field, and it was a fun team that you would hope to build on. And it's crazy looking at the rosters and see how deep this team is now. It is unbelievable. Like I see Carl Lawson at camp. Like, is he just going to get 12 sacks? Like, is that just going to happen? He's a monster again. And what 8 sacks last year? And that was
7 sacks, but like he was impactful. He was impactful. He probably wasn't worth 15 million last year, but now he's coming off another year off of an Achilles. He should be stronger. There's just so many guys. Like, whatever. I don't care if everyone gets 4 sacks. Just cause havoc. You know what? It is what it is. And the Jets, and honestly, it's funny. The Jets just keep getting more defensive line. They're going to be on the field less than they were last year. So what? They're never going to be able to do anything. They have to get a sack every play if they're going to have nice numbers.
Can we talk a little bit about Denzel Mims trade?
Well, yes. What was your thought? Initial thought?
The Jets trade guys where I'm like laughing, like I hate them. At the end of the day, Denzel Mims and Blake Cashman probably contributed the same amount of AV to the Jets in theory. And I was happy that the Jets got a deal for Cashman. And when Mims went, I was like, yeah, best of luck, man. It didn't work out, but I wasn't like, yeah, like go fuck Mims, even though I think I made a meme of Douglas shoving him in a suitcase and putting him into an airport. Like that, I felt bad about that. But Mims, we were very happy we drafted him.
Yes.
It was a miss. He was honestly very promising his rookie year that people forget.
Was.
You remember the stats in a 5-6 game sample size.
Yep. He looked like he was going to be a dude, and he's playing, and there were some nice throws. Darnold to Mims. We were very excited about Mims after his first year because it was a little bit different than other guys like Stephen Hill. People were excited about, but really quickly and then not because he had like a great opening game. Then it just was kind of a disaster. Mims looked like the dude. I remember I tweeted out at some point. It was funny too because I was like, "Who's gonna have a better career, like Mims or Elijah Moore?" And then like now it just doesn't matter. But everyone's like arguing about this shit. Um,
Because people go back to he didn't have a touchdown. We talk about that a lot, and Zach Wilson has more touchdowns. I get it. I get it
he
all.
had a 2-point conversion and he caught a touchdown in the preseason.
That is correct.
Take that with a grain of
But
salt.
I want to find his game log in 2020. So in 2020,
Yeah.
he had a game with 4-42, 4-62, 4-67, 3-for-71. So this is a guy over a course of a year could give you 50 catches and 700 yards. And
this
that
isn't one of the worst offensive seasons in the history of the sport. As a team.
point.
Yeah.
Great point. And then my biggest problem in 2021, and you can go back and find the tweets, when he was inactive all the time, I was like, give me, it was the classic, either the Jets know something that we don't know, but I go, put him out there. And I was very mad about it. They finally put him out there. And when every receiver was hurt and he was healthy, he still did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It wasn't like you're not exaggerating. He did nothing. He had like 3 games where he was one of the top 2 or 3 receivers on the depth chart with 0 catches.
And
this was
penalties.
when everyone's ready. This is the year where he had Salmon in the preseason and it was already an annoying start. And people were ready to give up on him. We're like, man, like one more chance for Mimsy. Right. And then he wouldn't even have a catch. He would have like 2 penalties. He would just account for like negative 10 yards. So
yeah, but
I was a little sad to see him go. It didn't really probably wouldn't matter this year. That's
which
the
is
point.
dumb.
And then
Which is dumb for us to say. We know that out loud. Like we get it. He did nothing. Right. We're not going to cry about it. But it is like a thing. Why do I cheer when Blake Cashman gets traded and when Mims gets traded? I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good analogy. And the other factor is that the reason the Jets cut him is because he doesn't play special teams. And your wide receiver 5 is Randall Cobb, 4 is Mecole Hardman, and then Corey Davis, Allen Lazard, and Garrett Wilson. So it doesn't really make sense to roster him. So at first, when the tweet came out, I was like a little bit surprised, just because you think, look, why not take another chance? Like Connor Hughes tweeted out when he got traded, he's like, what? It'll be great for Mims to have a fresh start, yada yada yada. Technically, the Jets are a fresh start this year. You have a new offensive coordinator and Aaron Rodgers. So figure you try to see what he could do with these guys. But roster construction wise, with Cobb being your 5, if you don't have Randall Cobb, I would doubt that the Jets cut Mims or trade him, which is not a shock. But that's my take on it. Then they could use one of this Brownlee guy or one of the other, or our wide receiver 6s should be playing special teams.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
They have athletes all over the field now, so hopefully they can continue to be deep and have a decent special teams. I know thinking of last year, the Lions game is just engraved in my brain. I can't get that out of it.
Well, think about it now. Now you have Zerline, which you had, who's terrific. I'm not saying he's going to be, but he was very good last year. And you have Thomas Morstead as your punter. So you have good, strong veteran special teams. You have an all-pro guy as your gunner. And now you have Mecole Hardman to impact the return game. It's interesting because Berrios, of course, was a very good returner, so that hurts. But I think overall it should shape up to be the most solid unit that we've had, because now you're down Braden Mann, which should be an upgrade. Even though again we liked him in the beginning, didn't work out. But
why can't we take Ashton Davis and say, hey, you ran 4.29. You're, I guess technically he's a track runner. You're going to be opposite Hardy and learn how to be a gunner. Like, why can't we just
Right.
make Ashton Davis do that?
Maybe
He has
Jasmine
to have,
Guidry can do it now. He's back.
it's
He used to be
unbelievable.
fast.
What else do we need to get to before we wrap up?
I'm just thinking, like, all that I'm thinking about as we're talking are just the Rodgers throw to Tyler Conklin between three guys, Rodgers to Corey Davis. All these guys, we've talked about this on the show before, and we kind of briefly touched on it before when you said that even Rodgers last year would be a historic year for the Jets quarterback. We've never seen a guy throw for 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns, and that very well could happen this year. And all these guys are going to, Corey Davis is going to have a good year then. Lazard's going to be involved. The run game, it's unbelievable. And speaking of the run game, Dalvin Cook stuff, interesting. Weird reports that have been circling for years, I guess. He hit his wife
I think
or his girlfriend.
it's weird. I missed that whole day on Twitter, and people immediately were like, we
Yeah.
cannot sign Dalvin Cook. And then some other report came out, and everyone's like, now we have to. I don't know if all things end up being great and he's, exonerated. Why not add another piece to the puzzle if you think Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. So let's assume that things are good. And we're talking about Dalvin Cook as a football player.
Yeah.
The Jets cannot sit on. I think the Jets are third or fourth in the league in cap space still after the Quinnen contract. They, I think, gained cap for 2023. Cannot sit on any dollars this year. Of course, you'd be flexible, blah blah blah. But in terms of whatever the Jets can do to maximize this year, do it, and that includes Dalvin Cook. I wanted Hopkins. I thought it made sense. What did they give him, 2 for 26? I would have cut Corey Davis and paid DeAndre Hopkins $3 million more, but
I think there's an element to the DeAndre Hopkins one. Keep me honest. I think the Jets want Garrett Wilson to be a true number one and flourish. And I'm not saying the more the merrier, obviously, if you can bring in a talent like that. But is there an element of Corey Davis would know his role better as a wide receiver 2-3, and then you bring in guys like Hardman and Lazard that you're excited about? Can you bring in a fourth guy that you're now excited about? And I think they're going to bring in a Dalvin Cook. I think that it will happen because I do think that running back room needs a little bit more pop. Carter's supposed to look great at camp, or the Jets just saying that so that they can. There's an element to that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think the argument that Cook is a better fit than Hopkins, I think is correct. I think that's accurate. For the reason that you said.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to sit on money. I'm not a cap linguist, but there's an element of the Rodgers deal and having to restructure him and the flexibility moving forward, where Douglas and Hogan and all of them, Jaime, they know what they can and can't do. But you're right. If we go in with 20 million free in cap and then next year it rolls over, I'm gonna set myself on fire.
Right. It just feels like and I don't think Joe Douglas has dominated free agency, is my point. It's been a long time already. And he tends to go for these middle tier guys who, like DJ Reed, worked out tremendously. But you can make an argument that I would make the argument that I would rather pay someone insane than Corey Davis and Alan Lazard making 28 million combined. But maybe, like you're saying, everything's a fit. Alan Lazard's a terrific dude, has the rapport with Rodgers. Hackett, do we get Rod? You know what I mean? There's obviously other factors. I'm just saying that's the approach that Douglas has taken so far in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish he was a little more flexible. There are times where you can go out and do something splashy, and let's see if he does it. Which I agree with you. I think he will, but I'm a little wary of it because 2020 we talked about. I have to find a real number, but the Jets sat on money going into the year, and then we watched Sam Darnold get his shit kicked in with Chris Hogan and fucking Jeff Smith as the receivers. It was obnoxious. Now, again, if Joe Douglas went out and traded for Julio Jones that year, it wouldn't have what mattered and it would have been stupid. So it's not you know what I mean? It's interesting.
I'm a big proponent now of all roads led to this. And I hated 2020
Yes.
with a passion. 2019 was abysmal. 2018 was fun for what it was during especially the
Yep.
back half of the year. 2021 was very much not fun. I like Coach Salo the guy. I still think we need to know schematically if he's going to take it to the next level and be a top
In
15 coach.
2021 or 2022?
2021 and 2022 because
Yeah.
2021 obviously was I
2021 sucked. Yeah.
because we Zach Wilson didn't show us that he was going to be the guy. He had a down year, and then the reason you had momentum in 2022 is you had the draft picks, you had young guys coming in, and obviously it started great. But in the back of our minds, in every episode, everyone did it was, I'm afraid the wheels might come off if Zach Wilson doesn't elevate this team, and they did in the worst way. So all roads led to this, all the pain, all that shit led to a team that if we flipped the script and the Patriots had a young core of Quinnen and Sauce and AVT and Hall and Wilson, and they traded for Aaron Rodgers, I would be shitting my pants every single day if I was in this division and conference. Now, we're the team that is going to run it up. Now, bring on week one, win that fucking game, and then smooth sailing for the rest of the year, win 11, 12 games, and make the playoffs. Let's do it. There's no way that I'm going to go through this year and have Salah sad in the press conference. We're 3-5. It's not happening again. They have to win now, and I think the team has the edge to do it.
It's different now. It's different now. And
Oh,
anything could happen, barring injuries, barring
you shouldn't
Broncos
even have to say that.
situation.
I'm like every team. Why is it always you and I and our fan base that has to say barring injuries? No other team in professional sports.
I'm talking about like a rot. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say it.
no, I'm with you. But I've been saying barring.
I can't say it. I
I've been
won't say
saying
it.
barring injury every year and like this entire podcast, and I just can't.
Yeah.
Why do
This
no
time
other
we
sport?
technically should be good enough to overcome even major injuries. That's the thing.
Give me my top eight guys. Give me my top eight. Don't touch top eight,
Just
and we
don't
can
touch him.
survive.
Yeah.
Top eight.
Don't touch him.
All right, Mike. We got a fun week ahead.
I'm like every day is a blessing.
The least religious guy I
I'm
know.
becoming
Every
a religious
day is
man
a
now.
blessing.
Yeah. Let's wake up is happy. Scroll through Twitter. Scroll. Make some memes. Aaron Rodgers does a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. Gets viral.
Well, I probably have
Didn't
to.
even wake up.
I
Didn't
got
even know.
Twitter Blue, and I don't love that
I
I
gotta
did
get
it.
it. Yeah.
I really would do it. Hand on the Bible. I would do it and not have a blue check mark, and no one would even know, but it'd be in the background because I check Twitter analytics pretty often, and I have like that cool growth. I look at monthly, like 700, 800 new followers a month, and then 2 months ago, I had net zero back-to-back months, and I would search my name on like other accounts, and if you typed in NYJ Matt, it wouldn't pop up. So I was straight up shadow banned. I'm pretty sure the moment I got Twitter Blue, right back to normal.
Oh, I'll have to do it then. Elon knows what he's doing. The fucker.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, the good thing is they're gonna turn the Twitter. So we try to expand YouTube, Instagram. YouTube, we're doing a decent job.
We just
But
do a video like
Instagram,
once a month.
all right, whatever. You're right. But other than that, we're doing a good job.
Yeah, we are.
And now we got lucky. The platform that we're on is probably going to become the biggest one.
Hopefully.
So,
Just don't hope it doesn't ruin it.
dude, I can't wait tomorrow. I'm going to wake up.
11 days, Mike,
See
until the Jets
stats.
play football. 11 days.
Wow, Jeremy Curley days.
Except when he went to 14 for a year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It was a weird
20.
time.
Oh yeah, why? That was after Fitz left. That was like 27. That was his third stint with the Jets. Curly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Stuff sauce.
I'll talk to you, buddy. Have a good one.
Peace.